Moving on to Section 9, Special Reports. Section A, Bond Quarterly Report. Paul Wills, Plante, Moran, Realpoint.
As they come up, I'll just give a little background. We're going to hear from Plante, Moran regarding our bond. We'll focus on some of the financials as well as the future projects that we have. We focused a lot before on the completion of some of our projects like the middle schools, so we're kind of shifting our focus now into the future and what we can expect from the bond moving forward.
Thank you, Mr. McDonald. President Hill, good morning or good evening, board members. There's really three parts to the presentation today. I'm going to go through a little bit of the financial forecasting and budgets. You're going to hear from Mr. David Goldman relative to the Bloomfield East and some of the fun activities helping with the piloting of the furniture and implementation for furniture. And then Alan Dresselhouse will take us through the wellness centers and the rest of the programs. And then we'll talk a little bit about the mapping and activities going forward. So the first slide you see here on slide 3 is the budget reconciliation. First, I just want to thank the board sub-finance committees for their time and efforts and insight to this. As Mr. McDonald mentioned, we're really focused on construction at this point. So right now, the initial budget of $145,342,555, you'll see on the subsequent slide. And currently, the board approved contracts to date is $128 million. So again, you do have some spending requirements as part of your issuance of bonds, so we're well ahead of that 85% expenditure rate. So again, thank you to the board for making timely decisions. We got the furniture, fixtures, and equipment reconciliation. We've got the technology budget reconciliation. And then lastly, working with the finance department, you'll see in subsequent slides some additional funds that can be used, just like we did for North and South, for instance, for food services. This is really going to go towards the elementary cafeteria renovations. Like most districts, they also received a safety and security grants from the state of Michigan, about $300,000. And Ms. Kostick, one of her last activities, I'm sure Mr. Kumar can appreciate, is the investment schedules of your issuance of bonds have generated roughly $4.2 million of interest earnings to date. So again, congratulations on a fine performance of investing those monies wisely. So taking the same information on the next slide, on slide 4, on the left-hand side, you'll see the $145.3 million. Again, those are the initial construction budgets. They do include the district's policy of the 10%. And again, I know we've talked about that. Should it be 7.5, 5, 10, et cetera? But right now, that's just the 10% that's in there. The three major changes you'll see is that Conant, originally the PK expansion of about $1.9 million, is getting reallocated to the Bloomfield West. And then also the transportation, renovating that facility versus buying property and rebuilding. A new facility is a delta of $7 million. Again, that is getting reallocated back to the educational spaces that you'll see here coming up. So about $128 million has been committed to date. The future spend is roughly $22.4 million. If you take and add those two together, what you'll see, you're about $5.3 million delta from the $145 million to the $150 million total project. So I want to focus on the lower right-hand side, which is really where the program reserves are going to come from. We talked about the $4.2 million of interest carry. Again, that's been confirmed. You have the Section 97 safety security grant, the food services, and then again, if the district does decide to proceed with some additional architectural services, engineering services, about a $350,000 delta to that. So that ties into the $150.5 million of construction spent that is going to take place. And on the right-hand side, you kind of see the deltas of over and under. The good news is we're currently tracking about $500,000 under budget, total budget. Right now, construction is about $138,000 of that. So I know that was something that the finance subcommittee was really interested in, is how are we doing on the $200.5 million, and you're still under those budgets. And I think as you see some of the next pictures presented by Mr. Goldman and Mr. Dresselhouse, will be very excited about a lot of the great progress and some of the exciting things coming up. So with that, I will stop to answer any financial questions, and then if once that's completed, we'll move on to Mr. Goldman's piece. Okay, hearing none, I'll turn over to Mr. Goldman. David?
Thank you, Paul. Good evening, everyone. I just wanted to give you a couple quick updates on some of the projects we have in progress. As you'll see on the screen right now, our Bloomfield East facility is well underway with the renovations. A lot of finishes have been put in, new flooring, new lockers, as you'll see in the pictures. We spent are going to spend about $3 million total spend on that building. So it will be a nice transition from the current Fox Hills location. And we're working right now to move some of that playground equipment over from Fox Hills to the new Blooming East location, as well as working with the staff over there on the transition to make the move down the street. In addition to that, you guys will hear a board recommendation for furniture to go into all of our elementary schools this summer. We are focusing a lot on security and kind of the behind-the-scenes stuff this summer, in addition to that furniture. This is a typical layout of a kindergarten room. That stuff was delivered already this past summer, ready for the fall. A lot of mobile furniture that can get rearranged by the teacher in a short amount of time to kind of work with the flow of the class. And all that stuff is expected to be done prior to school starting this coming fall. And then I just wanted to share with you guys some higher elementary classroom concept drawings as well. A lot of teacher mobility with a mobile pedestal stand. And again, all of this stuff lends to mobility, so the teacher can make small group areas or large group areas. So it definitely has some flexibility built into it, but that's all I have tonight. If you guys have any questions on that.
I do.
Yeah.
Maybe anybody could speak up for this. How many of these different pieces of furniture have been demoed sort of in our classrooms? I've physically have seen some of it, but I don't know if this has all been demoed by the teachers and they've given feedback to say, no one's going to 100% agree, but do we have enough consideration that this feels like the right kind of configurations and opportunities for the kids?
Yes, I know that they did a lot of piloting furniture throughout the district in different buildings, different age groups the past couple of years. All that stuff has been surveyed with the staff and see what works, what doesn't. We also work with the maintenance and operations department to see how well it's holding up and, damage to it. So a lot of that has gone into the selection of this furniture.
So we had stuff that we were piloting way back when, and it's still about like the same things or the things we're buying today?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
That is
Thank
correct.
you.
And now I'll turn it over to Alan.
Thanks, David. So as David walked us through construction that is currently in process, I'm going to walk you through some things we're about ready to start construction on. First off is the Wellness Center that, as identified and approved by the board in the 2020 bond program and approved by the board, the bid pack. We are about to start mobilizing up at the high school. Construction is going to start here in June and will be completed. We're targeting hopefully by the beginning of the football season in '25. If it may, certain aspects of the development may run a little bit past that, but that is our target to be ready September of '25. Again, just quickly, we're putting on a 2-story addition here, roughly 10,000 square feet. Total spend on this is roughly 4.7. We've been working directly with the athletic group here and the trainers to identify the equipment and such that would be going into the training facility, and that will be coming back to you at a later date here with a bid pack approval for that. But making sure, more importantly, that we're buying the right equipment for the kids in their training for their sports activities. Just want to recap on a couple of things that we are wrapping up with regards to athletic improvements. So we have the high school baseball and softball field upgrades. So we have completed that. The teams are practicing. They had their tryouts, getting ready for their games that I believe are starting right after spring break here. A couple of features that we came to last year on was we had some concern about the existing bleachers behind the softball field home plate there. Those were removed. We implemented a retaining wall and then relocated some existing bleacher seating that was around the football stadium to accommodate some seating behind home plate. In addition to that, the home stands are over by the third base side of the dugouts, and so there's ample seating and capacity there for both handicap and spectator viewing purposes. A couple other things athletically that I want to point out is we did move forward, and we will be installing here in the next couple months a new 50-foot flagpole. So for those of you that have been up at the high school field, we've got 3 or 4 of them that are servicing all the different athletics. So we will be taking most of those down and then installing one brand new one that will be visible from all the athletic fields. It would be, predominant right on the hill. It would be on the right field side of the softball field and right behind home plate of the baseball field. So that's in the works. At South Hills, we're about ready to start our construction of adding the new tennis court and resurfacing the existing ones. So we've been in communication with the athletic department on that. Courts will be closed starting in June, and we are hopeful that we would have these things wrapped up in as quick as possible, late July, early August. So that will be starting. And then the baseball field at South is basically completed. But the grass for the outfield and things actually has to mature, so that field is going to be offline really until mid to late summer, probably the start of the new school year. And then lastly, the new scoreboards have been delivered, are on site, and those are being installed actually on spring break next week. I wanted to bring to your attention some other things that we're working on right now to accelerate in the bond program. So as the occupants from Fox Hills are now moving over to Bloomfield East, we're preparing to demo Fox Hills. We're working with our civil engineers to identify where we're going to terminate our utilities out at the street. We're talking to demo contractors, getting pricing in. And the plan is right now that the building would come down, be backfilled. We are evaluating the parking surface lots. We're going to try to keep everything that we can there that is in good shape, and that is in bad shape will be milled and removed. And this work would commence probably late fall, early winter. So I would be coming to you probably in August, September with the bid pack and the recommendation to move forward. Something new. So as you recall, the original plan at the high school was for a concessions building that was going to be out to the northwest corner of the athletic field by the football field. And as we discussed, the costs associated with doing that were really out of whack, if you will. So what we did is we reevaluated the existing concessions area, and we're actually expanding upon that. We will be branding the new concessions area, putting up a new canopy over the top, and then putting some channel letters that says concession across that. And then in the front, we wanted to bring a little bit more impact as people are coming into the property to view the football games, the baseball fields, all the other athletics. So we've come up with what we talk about as a gateway, which you can see on the left side there. And again, these are conceptuals. Working with Keith, our design team, and the athletics, we're putting the finishing touches on what this may look like. But this is kind of the direction that we are heading, working with the budget that we have to work with. And coincide with that is the teaming building, we will call it, really for tennis and other athletic endeavors. And you can see that on the bottom right there. And that would be, and I'll just flip one screen ahead here. Whoops. Looks like we're missing one slide in here, Rebecca, but we're evaluating what the size of that building would be. Originally, it was going to be roughly around 2,500 square feet with restrooms, meeting space up top, glass windows overlooking the football field, and then what we call eyebrows, little window shades that go over the top of that. It's just a CMU building and could potentially have some storage underneath. So we're evaluating whether we need to have storage there or if we're going to do something back up the high school with respect to the storage. And that building may shrink from 2,500 square feet down to 1,500 square feet. Regardless, the plans are to have some sort of a teaming environment and restrooms closer to the home stands for spectator use. A couple other things I want to talk about that's in design development right now is obviously the International Academy and Wing Lake. So we are working right now to implement new secure entrances, construction and design. There's just a sample floor plan of what we're talking about here. So obviously we'd have our safety glass, the a controlled vestibule, if you will, with access to the office area. And then at IA is also to receive front office reconfiguration and remodel. So those things are in the works. We are also actually starting on the elementary schools phase 3. And what is phase 3? So phase 2 is really just the infrastructure, the stuff above the ceiling, ripping out all the front end displays, things like that, coming in with the new technology and the new furniture. Phase 3 is all the fun stuff, the carpet, painting the walls, graphics, changing out some of the corridor flooring, going to a carpet there versus like a vinyl. So that is all in the design works right now, and that work would take place in the summer of '25. So you can expect to see me here probably sometime in November with all the bid breakdowns on that and looking for recommendation and approvals. Blooming West, robotics and maintenance. So as we continue to navigate and work on the plans there, we again are planning to have an all team, all parents meeting on April 1st. We have received the list of requirements from the robotics team. We're working with our designers to incorporate all that. So at that meeting on the 1st, we will be presenting some renderings, site plans, floor plans to identify exactly how most of these things can be achieved and accomplished, along with some 3D images of what the playing fields and things could look like. So again, that meeting is on April 1st. Bowers Farm and Nature Center, this is something we just actually started talking about today to try and pull ahead this work as well. And we have a meeting with Mr. Jarvis, I believe that's 2 weeks from today. So that meeting will take place, define scope, budget, make sure things are all in line, and start working towards accomplishing the goals there. Transportation, renovations, and then the improvements at Booth and the high school technology renovations are really something that would be tackling in '25 and be accomplished in the latter part of '25. So those are the district bond program promises that we are moving forward with and the timelines associated with that. The last slide here is really just when you can expect to see and how we're packaging up the bid packs. So in the dates that we would be coming to the board. So the gateway, the demolition of Fox Hills, the IA security, you can expect to see me here in late June for approval for that. Bid pack 11, the elementary schools phase 3, the Blooming West improvements, robotics, and maintenance revisions would be September, October of this year. And then the Bowers Wing Lake and things of that nature would be January of '25. And then lastly, the transportation and the high school improvements would be in November of '24. But again, we have a lot of work to do yet to make those happen. So that was a lot. Open it up for any questions that you may have for the Plant Moran team here.